Joe's always working. I'm like, I'm not. I just work a different shift to you, but you've got a problem with it.
Yeah, that's exactly it, isn't it? You're the one with the problem. So you problem, not a me problem.
It's impossible to achieve balance. And I think when you are striving for something that is impossible to achieve, you're always going to fail.
How do you successfully navigate your life avoiding burnout?
If I lean in and think about what everybody else's expectations of that balance are, again, I'm failing.
What do you want that day to look like? How many hours would you ideally work? What would those hours maybe look like?
Everyone is almost a bit like a jigsaw puzzle anyway, because you're going to take out bits that make you you.
How do you even start to balance your life?
Where do I start? What do I do? But it's where you have to do that backtracking bit and go, well, what is the purpose that you're trying to achieve here?
The age-old question, how do you balance life? We don't like the word balance because we prefer the word dance.
Yes, this is true. This is very true.
So life is a juggling act. There are lots of things to fit in. How much attention do you give to working in the business versus working on the business? We got asked this as a suggestion to cover on today's episode.
Oh, where do you start with this? There's so many ways you could look at it. I'm genuinely trying to think where to start with it, because I think there's an element of your personality profile in
what you're comfortable doing.
Yeah, like maybe not even as in depth as a profile as such, but just knowing your habits and knowing your own strengths and weaknesses of like, when do you work best? How do you work best? I know a lot of people that, I'm not going to say thrive under pressure, but they get more shit done under pressure.
We thrive under pressure, I would say.
I'll own that statement, yes. I will definitely say, give me a deadline and I'll break and bend everything.
I think a lot of people listening to this will probably be able to resonate with that, actually. You
could take that back to school, couldn't you? It's like, oh, when's your homework due? Tomorrow. Oh, you've got 3 weeks to do it. I even remember
like
telling myself,
revision, exactly the same.
Even that uni course I've just finished, I promised myself, oh, I'm a mature student now. I'm going to get my shit together and I'm just going to do it as soon as it's given to me. Did I fuck?
No, you just don't.
All night or the night before. Get it done.
Look at our book. I mean, we didn't have very long to write that anyway, but I feel like we kind of really left a lot of that to the last minute.
God, yeah.
Didn't we?
That could have been done a lot slicker.
It could have been.
It was not. Yeah, so I think, because actually if you do operate like that, which, you know, we've just admitted that we do, I think it's one of the hardest things you will ever skill yourself up in to break that habit.
It's a hard habit, isn't it, to break? You get reinforcement from it, variable reinforcement.
Yeah.
We have definitely been reinforced for that behaviour.
Yeah, because you'll convince yourself that, oh, you can do it, and you'll convince yourself that you can actually get more out of life by actual lifing up until the point.
Yeah, you get a good result out of it, don't you? You get to experience the life bit and then you get to hit the deadline, therefore win-win.
Yeah, because if you've got several weekends coming up, for example, using a hypothetical work week, Monday through Friday, and then the weekend's off, and you're out and you're at the pub or you're out with the kids or family or you go away for the weekend, whatever it is, and you do that and then you're still able to get the thing done, why should you have to give up your weekends then? Mm-hmm. Why should you have to change anything if you can still get it done?
And don't you think we like to make our lives a bit difficult sometimes?
Yeah.
Because in the back of your mind is always going to be... So argument's sake, you could say, well, if you just got it out the way, then you could just relax fully. But you kind of, something about you kind of goes like, it's like the weird juxtaposed thing of like, I kind of like that niggly feeling because I know I've got to get it done, but I can just live my life with it there in the back of my mind. It's just a weird thing, isn't it?
But we are stupid as human beings.
It's like when you like pain a little bit. So like tattoos and stuff. I was talking to somebody yesterday, but like it's like a kind of nice-ish pain sometimes. Like some bits, don't get me wrong, like really fucking hurt. Like your elbows and your armpits and stuff like that. But otherwise, I'm like, I actually quite enjoy it.
Yeah.
And does that make me a weird person?
I mean, you're not normal. But
well, there is that. But I when you talk to people that do, say on the tattoo theme, like get tattoos quite often, people say that quite a lot. It's like, yeah, it's quite a nice, pleasant pain.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yep, ink me up all day long.
And also, I get to relax when I'm doing it, which is not a thing that I do very often. So I'm like, actually, I am going to enjoy this pain because I get to actually sit down and relax and usually nearly fall asleep.
Like it. How the hell did we get onto that?
I don't know. You know what we're like. Back to
what were we talking about?
How do you even start to balance your life?
Okay, well,
hang on. Let's cover this. I know we've done this in a previous episode, but let's cover why we don't like balance as a word in relation to this, by the way. Why don't we like it? And why do we prefer the word dance when it comes to that compartmentalising your life and how much time you should spend here and there? Like, why do we not like that word?
Well, balance, how we look at it is, imagine a seesaw and imagine you've got equal weight on both sides.
50-50.
So you're literally just a plank of wood in the air now.
Okay. I've gone from loving tattoo pain and needles to
a plank of wood.
Imagine you were a plank of wood.
Yeah, on a seesaw bit. You've got the visual. Yeah, it's there.
I'm there.
A steady...
Constant.
I was trying to think of a degreeage, but can't think of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, flat piece of wood. And theoretically, you've got the work chair on one side, and then you've got the life chair on the other. Mm-hmm. Does it ever happen that equally? No. Even if you get everything, air quote, right in a business and you get everything, air quote, right in life, but neither of those things are ever going to happen. Hence them being in air quotes. So it's impossible to achieve balance. And I think when you are striving for something that is impossible to achieve, you're always going to fail.
Ooh, poignant.
Good, isn't it?
Poignant.
So
would you ditch your... Yeah, so if we looked at it in that analogy then, would we go, oh, hang on a minute, the family needs more of me at this moment in time, but I can't because it's going to put it off kilter? Like, that goes against that kind of balance thing. Do we just abandon the family? Same with the work thing. Or we've got this deadline of this important thing happening. We've got the conference coming up in a couple of weeks' time. How, like, do you then go like, oh, but we need to just carry on doing what we're doing and then not put that focus on that? Well, that means that event might not be as good and it might not have the outcome that we want from it. So therefore, like, it's too rigid almost, isn't it, to view it like that?
Yeah, it's really rigid. You can't... Well, I don't think it's possible to say... I just hate the word balance. It literally makes me want to vomit every time I hear that word. Because again, for me, I am a person that fears failure a lot. So for me, looking at that example is like, I'm setting myself up to fail if I'm striving for balance.
Yeah, something's got to give, and that thing that gives is failure almost, isn't it?
Yeah. And I have this conversation quite a lot with my sister and Darren ultimately as well, because as I've mentioned previously, my sister's a school teacher. We parent very differently, even though our kids are exactly the same ages, give or take a few months. And we both have very different outlooks on life, let's say. They focus, as in her family, they focus a lot on, I'm going to say air quote, quality time together with the four of them. But realistically, due to the parameters of their life, because they work full time Monday through Friday, and then they get the 2 days off each week to spend with the kids, you're shoehorning a lot of life into those 2 days, which I would say is common for 95% plus of the population. Again, I don't know the exact statistics, but it's a high proportion. And I'm the anomaly that goes, well, actually, I don't look at it as a 5-day week and a weekend. I just see it as 7 days available in a week. Doesn't matter. There's no difference for me. And coming up with that balance bit for me, if I lean in and think about what everybody else's expectations of that balance are, again, I'm failing. So in my sister's eyes, if I look at my life through her lens, I'm a failure. I'm not a very good wife because I don't spend that much time with Darren. I'm not a very good mum, apparently, because I'm out podcasting and doing all these other different things. But what other people don't see is the pockets of time that I do get and all of the stuff that I can, you could say, cram in. I feel like I get maximum capacity out of my day, but it's a conscious choice to be able to do it. And I think with any choice, you do have to, I say give up some stuff, but I don't mean give it up because it's making that conscious awareness to go, well, in order for me to get that needs to either go or just get knocked down the priority list for a bit. Does all that make sense?
Yeah.
And you will have the same in your life, whether you've got, because I've got the kids, you haven't got the kids, but that doesn't make my life any more busier or not compared to yours.
Well,
it's
it kind
just
of does.
Different. But it's just different.
Your life is busier than mine, Joe. Let's just face it.
But it's different for everybody though, isn't it? Because again, like me and my sister, we've both got kids, but we treat our lives very differently. And that juggling act is, again, a very different juggling act. And I think it comes down to, again, what choices do you want to make and what do you want to get out of those different parts of your life? Because everyone, I see it as, everyone is almost a bit like a jigsaw puzzle anyway, because you're going to take out bits that make you you. So like with you, you've got the wife role, you are dog mum, like through and through. Everything's about the dogs in like all the best ways. Then you've got friends, family, and everyone can like pick parts of everyone's life and go, oh, yep, I've got that bit and I've got that bit. And it's just figuring out what needs to come as a priority at each moment in time. And I think that's going to be so different for everybody. But having the awareness to even be able to, maybe even it's worth doing like an exercise of identifying your roles in your own life.
Yeah. Yeah, and one of the question was, how do you successfully navigate your life avoiding burnout? And I feel like there's a lot in that on its own, because again, what's your version of that? Because when people hear that you get up at 4:30 for a coaching call for a client in Thailand, people are like, what? But then what they don't maybe see is the entire picture of going like, yeah, I'll get up and I'll do that call, but I'm not working till stupid o'clock at night like someone else might be. So therefore, like, there is an element of going like, my day starts earlier and finishes earlier, and I'm there with the kids later on and I'm putting them to bed and sorting out dinners and stuff like that. So, but that's your choice again, isn't it? It's coming back to that, like filling your life with the stuff you want to do when you feel is priority at that time, but also being okay with it. So like, again, I don't feel like there's a definitive way of saying how to avoid burnout. I think it's just going like, how, and again, I suppose it's like, how do you even start to quantify that where do you get to then it be, is this like a little bucket where it goes like, if we fill it that much, then burnout happens? Or do we go like, what's someone's version of burnout isn't the next person's? And again, that might come into the personality profile types and stuff that we talk about quite often. You know, someone's bucket then, if we're looking at burnout as a bucket, like arousal in a dog, someone's might fill very quickly.
Yeah, little buckets and big buckets.
Different size buckets. And that overspill happens a lot earlier for some people than it for others. So it's a really difficult question to answer, which might not actually answer the question that somebody's asking us with the outcome of this episode. But what we want, I think, people to take away the most is to go like, what works for you?
Yeah.
And what does your life look like in an ideal situation? What do you want your life to look like You know, what do you want your day to look like? Let's start with that rather than life. What do you want that day to look like? How many hours would you ideally work? What would those hours maybe look like? How much of that are you willing to spend within delivering that service for the business versus, I mean, I guess it's like importance for you, isn't it? Like for us, working on the business is way more important than in the business, but equally in the business is as important as working on it, because if you don't work on it, you don't know where it's going, you have no strategy, all of that stuff that we talk about a lot, how can you possibly deliver a good service? But then if you spend all your time on the service, how can you work on those other bits? So it's deciding what percentage that looks like for you, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I think...
Or even, I was just about to say, even if you go, there are some bits of that I need to outsource so I can spend more time doing the thing I really want to do. Like that's a decision to make as well, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think this comes down to where you're at in business as well. Like what stage are you at?
Very much.
Because in our opinion, I appreciate not all of you may agree with this, and that's fine. In our opinion, I'll use a monetary guide because it's a good measure. So businesses up to that 80 to 100k turnover, I would say is the hardest time in anybody's business life. Getting to your first 80 to 100k is exhausting. The graft you have to put in, the long hours, and it is a fucking hard season, but it's a season. And it's that awareness of, okay, what on earth do I need to do to make this happen? And this comes back down to being purposeful in knowing what it is you are trying to achieve.
Yeah.
And we'll forever keep crossing over into this topic area, but you're going to be the type of business owner that is either running it as a hobby business and you genuinely are not driven by trying to make it something big and shiny with processes and all of that kind of stuff. You're just quite happy going, do you know what? I've got a service. It changes variably. I get cash for it. I'm good. And that's fine.
Not trying to change the world.
Yeah,
I'm
just like that. That's just one business model and it's fine. Crack on. Like you may have several different jobs doing the equivalent of the same thing because you like to maybe just dip your toes into lots of different waters. Crack on. But if you're wanting a business that is kind of falling into that entrepreneur category, I suppose, where you really want to make sure that business generates a decent income, that business is sustainable over a long period of time and affords you the lifestyle that you want to have, and whether that involves staff or not. And by staff, I mean either bringing on people to deliver the same service, i.e. if you're a trainer, you get more trainers on, or if you want staff in terms of back-end support and maybe you bring in like VAs and marketers and all of that kind of stuff. But knowing where you're at in that business journey and life cycle, you're going to have to, again, I hate the words give up, but you're going to have to prioritise different things.
Yeah, and again, if we look at that period in 2024, kind of, yeah, I suppose it was now, wasn't it? Like from May to kind of nowish and beyond, really, of us doing the book, getting all the course, you know, the business basics course was all being created at that time, wasn't it, around now? And it's like that period of time for us was really intense. A lot of hours, a lot of late nights, early mornings. And again, you might look at that and go like, God, look at those two. They're always working like that. And it's like, no, we're not. We're working like that for that period of time because that goal needs to be reached. The book had a deadline of, it had to be written, it had to be edited, it had to be published. We wanted to get it out for a certain event. So that's what we needed to do. it was a decision on our part. We could have let it go on for years. We could have taken ages to write that book. We were like, no, the goal is we want it to be published by this point in time to be able to, we need to work backwards and when do we need to get all of those tasks done? This is the date. That's the deadline. That's what we were talking about earlier about like, quick, get it all done. But it wasn't forever. Like we couldn't have sustained that forever.
I had my degree on top as well.
Oh, you had your degree, yeah. But we couldn't have done that forever. That would have caused burnout if we'd have carried on like that. But there were people around us at that point going like, oh, we're worried about you. Like Gareth was worried about me and like Darren worried about you and going like, God, can this keep going like this? And we're like, no, we know there's an end point of it. We don't know exactly when it is, although we kind of do because we're being strategic about what we're doing. But it's not just going to switch off like a tap. It's going to be peaks of intensity and then it's going to pull back a little bit. But there's always going to be that ebb and flow around it as well, isn't it? And we're good with that. We're genuinely good with that. And that's when it comes back to, I think, what are you good with and what works for you? And for us, because we work similarly in some respects, but very differently in others, that's why it works so well for us as well.
Yeah, it's what I was thinking when you were talking then was the impact of other people's opinions on how you spend your time.
Yeah.
I think this massively impacts that feeling of, am I getting the balance right?
Yes, because if people start questioning it, you will start questioning it and going like, is this right?
Yep. So like with Gareth and Darren, passing comments to us was not helpful.
No.
Because it actually made us feel shit and going, oh, are we working too much? Are we being shit wives? And a mum in my case, are we failing?
I remember getting comments of like, oh, Vicky's always too busy to come out with us now. Like she can't do it because it's like, yeah, that period of time, I was too busy to come out with you. And yeah, okay, I might have had a little bit of FOMO at the time, but I'm like, no, this is more important. At this moment in time, this thing is going to be a really good decision for us later on. So therefore, that energy needs to go into that at the moment. I'm coming back, but for this period of time, I can't be involved in that. And I think there were people that were really like, oh my God, she's changed. She's like a completely different person. I was like, I'm not. I'm just putting my focus elsewhere for the time being because it's necessary.
Yeah. Do you know what? Alex Hormozy goes on a lot about that example and how if it's almost like it's supposed to be hard.
Yeah,
I think actually, and I don't know if it's a this day and age type of thing, but it does feel, and I'd be lying if I said I haven't felt it myself in that, that want to get everything like right now. And I want it all. I want to be able to go out for a weekend and get pissed if I want to. I want to be able to spend time with my kids and I want to be able to do that university degree and then do the business, I want to do it all. But realistically, in order to do that, you've got to pay the price. And I hear myself trying to justify it almost in saying that price is a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. No. It's just, what is the price that you are willing to pay to get to where you want to get to? And that price, again, it's got this weird negative connotation around it, hasn't it? Like it's a bad thing that you have to pay something. Well, imagine you're going to go to a gig. Well, you've got to pay something to go to the gig. So you've paid a price.
Yeah.
And the price has been the financial investment and your time and energy to go to the gig. It's the same thing.
Yeah. And also you could look at it like switching out jobs. Like it was only yesterday I said to Gareth, oh my God, there's so many things that we could have done this weekend with the house. And we had a really busy kind of social weekend that went on. And he was like, oh yeah, but that can wait, can't it? So the price I paid them was to not do those things. But actually my value the weekend just gone is like, I've had a really great time over the weekend. I've really enjoyed it. So therefore that's okay to just push that to one side. Like it's not that detrimental. It's not impacted anyone but us. And we're good with that.
Yeah. So I think, who you're listening to is a big factor.
To get back to who you surround yourself with and what are you willing to osmosis into you as opposed to like let it, run off like a duck's back, water off a duck's back. Like what are you letting affect you and what are you able to deflect almost, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think having the the ability to keep checking in on yourself. So, funnily enough, I've said to Darren several times this week, because guess who I've been hanging out with whilst it's a 6 weeks holiday? Oh, my sister, who thinks very differently to me. And even though we haven't had a direct conversation around this topic as such, you know, when you just get like little random comments here and there, but it's woven into a bigger conversation. So you're like, oh, banked that you've said that or you've thought that. And it's led me, I know it's seeped into my brain somewhere, because I found myself saying to Darren, going, are you happy with like how we spend our time? Because to be completely frank and brutally clear, like Darren and I have not slept in the same bed since the kids were born. Like, we co-sleep with the kids, which ultimately means one of us is always in with the boys. And it was our decision that that's what we wanted to do, and it works for our family. But now and again, you get that odd little comment and that judgment, like, you what? Like, that can't be healthy for your relationship and blah, blah, blah. So, of course, it seeps into your brain. And you're like, actually, is this right? Is it wrong? And then the way that our lifestyle works with that home ed route and the childcare facilities that we use, and the fact that Darren works for himself and I work for myself, we're like, all days are equal. It's not a weekend and a week thing. It's what works. And he has typically kind of fallen into he'll work Monday to Thursday really, and he'll have the Fridays off with the boys, which means then I typically get Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So whilst everybody is out of a weekend, I'm like, I can work. So I'll sit at my office and I'm like, I'm good with it. But again, the odd comments come in of like, oh, Joe's always working. I'm like, I'm not. I just work a different shift to you, but you've got a problem with it.
Yeah, that's exactly it, isn't it? You're the one with the problem. So you problem, not a me problem.
Yeah. But it's hard to detach yourself
It's
from
just
that.
not conforming, isn't it? You know, like people say they're rebellious or not conformist. And it's like, well, that almost comes across like non-conformist. And it's like, well, no, we live in 2025. Like, you don't have to do stuff the way everyone else does it.
Yeah.
And again, if it works for you, great.
Yeah, this is it. And I think this is why I hate that balance bit, because it just can't happen. Like,
setting yourself up for failure. The more that we're talking about it now, it is, isn't it? It literally is that rigidity and that setting up for failure that is inevitably going to happen if you always look at it in a balanced way. Yeah,
because I think it's something you said earlier, like being able to ebb and flow into different seasons, but being aware of it. So it's knowing that, like, I've naturally fallen into this season at the moment where I'm not doing hardly any. I'd say, like, if I am doing it, it's like 5% of my time forward facing client work during, I'll say, daylight hours.
Yeah.
And I will make
she's a vampire, people.
Yeah. I'll make my call availability from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. and like 6 p.m. till 8 p.m. because I know I can work that morning shift and night shift in terms of a forward-facing client call with all of my attention. Because during the day, I'm either on call for the kids or I'm with the kids. So it's really difficult to do forward-facing stuff. But I can do a fuck ton of back-end stuff. Mm-hmm. And that wasn't a conversation you and I initially sat down and said, oh, let's work like this. We kind of naturally fell into it. And then we went, oh, hold on. Are we good with how this works? Does this work? And, you know, in 2-3 months' time, it could change again.
Yeah.
I'll be in a different season with the kids and they might go, actually, no, like, fuck off. Don't want you around. I want to go and do some more stuff by myself. Like, okay, fine. And we'll figure it out then. So I think having that ability to allow yourself to go with the flow a little bit.
And actually, I know we're talking about seasons as in seasons of time, but the actual seasons might play a part, because I'm more likely to want to go out and do stuff and socialise more in the summer than I would in the winter, potentially. So I might be happier to work different hours in the winter and just go, like, if it's a shitty, rainy, horrible day, I'll sit on my laptop all day and that's fine. Whereas if it's a nice sunny day, you might be inclined. So, you know, when you're looking at that season bit, it doesn't have to, it can literally change with the tides. It can change with the actual seasons if you want it to. And it really doesn't have to, like, there are no, I say this quite a lot, I know. there are no business police. You can change whatever you want to change, whenever you want to change. And I think for me, looking back at the way that I used to run my dog training business before I got guidance and help and business support on it, is like, it's forever. If I choose to do this thing in this certain way, it has to be forever. And I don't know where that comes from. That's almost like that fixed, I wouldn't say it's a fixed mindset. I just think it's like a law that I'd written myself to go like, if I make that decision, I've got to stick with that decision. And I know for a fact that's how other people think, because I've had conversations around this with them and gone, yeah, I used to think like that. I used to think that you have to pick it, and it's like the pressure of going, I want to work this hour to this hour and that's it then. You know, if you're creating a service, you can't change it almost. And it's so weird to even say it out loud. But I also put in my head back in those older days. That's how I felt. That's literally how I felt.
Don't you think we do that with life as well, though? Like with people who we hang out with, bringing it back to that.
Yeah.
But like, oh, well, I always see, I don't know. Or like Sundays is always family day.
Yeah.
Or, do you know what I mean? Like we put certain
parameters around life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's that ingrained habit thing. It's really hard to break. But it's only until someone asks you the question and you look at it from that outside looking in perspective that you go, where's that come from? Because actually, when someone's asking me, do I actually want to do it like that? I'm like, no, not really. But it's like this unwritten weird rule that you've put on yourself, or law that you've put on yourself, or business police you think are around and they're not. And it just really fascinates me that's how, and me included, that's how we sort of fall into this trap sometimes of going like, it has to be the certain way. No, it doesn't. Which is why when we create services or help people create new services, this is just a prototype. Like, let's try this thing, let's test it out and let's see how it works. And if it doesn't, something about it doesn't work, don't scrap the whole thing. Let's just look at what bits work and what bits don't, and what can we change, and how can we improve the service for people, and how can we improve the service for us. All of that.
How often does this come up when we go, oh, but I've worked with these clients for so long.
That was me.
And they are not going to like the change.
That was me.
They won't pay more for my services. Yep. Basically all the stuff. But again, it's the parameters that you've set out in your own head. You've created them. We all do it. I even said to you the other week, didn't I? Like we've somehow inadvertently created this thing on a Friday night now of chippy tea night.
Oh yeah.
It's very British, isn't it? Chippy tea night.
It's a Friday night thing as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Why?
Yeah.
Don't understand it.
I don't know what it is, because you see chip shops with like people overseas, you might be like, what's a chip shop and what's chippy tea? But like fish and chips in the UK is a big thing, and Friday nights there always tends to be queues outside of chip
ridiculous.
shops. It's weird,
absolutely ridiculous.
It's really weird.
I don't even feel like I can call it proper chippy tea, because again, it's at my sister's house and there's this weird thing that they don't want to pay for the fish or the meat or anything. So it's literally, we'll go and get chips and then cook the rest. I'm like, I literally go because it's free food. That's basically all of it. But somehow that's now turned into a regular thing because we've been doing it for the last few months. And I'm like, when did this happen? Why am I suddenly constricted now to a Friday night? I can't do anything.
Yeah.
Not that I'd probably do anything different anyway, because I can't. But I'm like, But Friday night just gone. I didn't go.
Oh, didn't you?
No, I wasn't feeling it.
Oh.
So I said to Darren, I was like, crack on, you go. And I sat at home with a tub of Ben & Jerry's.
Oh, did you? Played
a stupid game on my phone and watched TV.
Fair play.
I was like, I'm well happy with this.
Wow.
Just wasn't feeling it. But again, like it's hard to say no. Like, I'd honestly, like the feeling, it wasn't even guilt that I had for not going. It was more oh God, I'm going to get moaned at because I haven't gone, and Joe's a shit. I could be shit everything in that scenario. Shit daughter because it's when my mum and dad go. Shit sister because it's my sister that's running it. Shit mum because I've now left the kids like poor. Oh, your mummy hasn't come. And then shit wife because Darren's gone on his own. So essentially, like I fail on all counts by not going.
Ben and Jerry won though because they got you to eat them.
I was well happy with that. Oh, so good. Didn't have to share it or anything. It was great.
Love that.
Mm-hmm. But you see, like, how much pressure you can put on yourself to try and get that balance bit right. I was like, it's just not possible. And then I think, you know, taking it a step further when looking at it through the business lens. Oh, right, okay. So now you've just jumped in and working with us at Canine Business Academy, and you've now got access to a vault of incredible teachings in there. Oh, fucking hell, overwhelmed. Where do I start? What do I do? How the fuck do I shoehorn all of that into my life of lifing as well? I don't know. But this is where all that stuff that we've just been talking about, it may not feel relatable, but this is the real life stuff.
Yeah.
Chippy tea is a real thing you've got to factor into your work life.
Yeah.
How are you going to make it happen?
And it's even a bit like we were having a conversation on the way up here about this studio where we're recording this today is 2 to 2.5 hours away from home for us. And it amazes me the amount of people that say, like, where'd you go to have your podcast recorded? I'm like, Peterborough. It's like 2.5 hours ago. Oh my God, that's really far away. I'm like, it's once a month-ish. And we really like coming here, and Ryan's like, yeah, in the background. We genuinely really like coming here, and we get a really load of productive stuff happens when we're here. We get to chat on the way up, and light bulb moments and pivotal things have happened and changed in the business from those conversations in the car. We have recorded episodes based on chats we've had in the car, and we've gone, oh, that'd be a really useful thing to sort of talk about. So like the value of those days for us is like, if it was up the road 2 minutes away, probably wouldn't have the same outcome.
I just wouldn't, would it?
Yeah. So for us, we're seeing that it's once a month. We've got, you know, support systems in place whereby the days can happen and it's not a detriment to our lives and stuff like that. Plus, we also see how much value there is in those days. And that might sound a bit crazy to people, but for us, we're like, this is an integral part of our business and we love it. And if we didn't, we wouldn't do it, would we? So that, I think that kind of fits into this episode quite nicely.
Yeah. It's choosing where to spend your time. And I think this comes back down to, you can call it goal setting if you want, like your purpose, or you could put it under any kind of umbrella within that category. But I think everything comes back down to like being purposeful in where you are spending your time. So again, I would be lying if that weekend that's just gone by where I was quite happy, just like, oh, I'm in my office, I've not been in here in like a week, it's been incredible. To just sit down, and I would be lying if I said there wasn't the first hour or two where I sat there and I'm like a bit procrastinating between playing on my phone and looking at the laptop, because I was like, don't really know where to start here, because the jobs that need doing are quite big thinking ones. And I'm sure all of you can relate. You know, you will sit down and go, I have every intention of doing this, but I can't get my brain to kick into gear. I think I probably made about 5 cups of tea in that 2 hours. I progressed a few levels on my game. I did bitty odds and sods of like, okay, that email needs sending, and nothing really productive in the grand scheme of things. But because I allowed myself the day, or rather I created the space for me to have that day, because I knew I was going to have that time period where my brain just wasn't going to function properly because I hadn't been in the right mindset all week because I'm in mom mode. And now I'm like, And then as the day went on, because I'd given myself the time, it allowed my brain, but this is me knowing how my brain works as well.
And also, don't you think it comes back to like when we're at our business group, like our mentors, we talk about the importance of being in the right frame of mind, getting in the zone, getting in that kind of, right, I'm ready for it. I'm in that positive mindset. I'm like open to anything here. Come at me. It's that, isn't it? And it's like, do you like if you were going to go to do a boxing match or something, you're not just going to walk straight on, are you? And not have that kind of like, you know, what do I do before the event type thing? Some people have their own like little versions of getting themselves psyched up and getting themselves
I've got
ready.
visions of, I'm going to do a piss poor job at this now.
What?
You know, the...
Da, da, da. We're doing Rocky theme tunes.
A little bit along those lines, but more the, is it hacker or something.
Oh, the hacker.
Is it the hacker? They're like, yes, that.
Rugby.
I was going to do it, but you just hear me slapping my thigh.
Like, that is a really good example, actually.
Oh my God, can we start doing this?
Well, I was going to say where I was going with this was, even if you just wake up and listen to a podcast that gets you in the zone.
Oh, it's not as good as the hacker
Or
then.
listen to an Audible. No, it's not that exciting, but I really like the hacker now. I really like that, or Rocky theme tune. But it's like, what needs to happen in your world in that time to get you prepared to take on the world, to be open to do this business bit really, really well and make that.
You have got to allow for some time in that.
I think so.
Because again, I think this is where that pressure comes in, and arguably it's only ourselves putting that pressure on, because it's nobody else, even though it could quite literally be somebody else. It's not. It's just not. It's always down on you. But I think this is where, and again, I am very guilty of doing this, it's easy to go down creating a to-do list.
Which is sometimes very necessary.
It is necessary. However, to do a to-do list like every day or every week, or if that's the version of the roadmap, it's not really going to move you further forward.
No. You're talking about like a short-lived to-do list that is literally living day to day by the to-do list, and no other,
because they're very important,
bigger picture.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's it. It's having two different, almost like that's that one overarching thing, and that's the day to day, like the tactics around the big strategy, isn't it? It's that.
Yeah. Because to me, this is where that balance bit, that isn't a balance, is you're going to screw yourself over, because then you don't know where to spend your time. And we're going, okay, so I know I need to make sales. I need to do some lead gen stuff. I need to do, God, brain's gone blank. on all this stuff, like social media posts or whatever it is, my email marketing. I'm like, where do I start? What do I do? But it's where you have to do that backtracking bit and go, well, what is the purpose that you're trying to achieve here?
Yeah.
And again, what type of business owner you wanting to be? Because if you are the business owner that is genuinely really satisfied with your business as it currently stands, you know, your comfort scale is good. I'm happy. I'm bringing in some cash. I'm working the hours that I kind of want to work. There's no real plan, but whatever I'm doing is working. Brilliant. Crack on. But if you're more inclined to be that entrepreneurial thinker, this is where you have to really spend some time in the planning, because this is what's going to help you build that balance that's not a balance.
And also looking at the metrics you can control, a bit like what's the focus? Lead gen. So we want more clients in. We're getting more clients in, but they're really shitty clients. They're not the people we want. We're just getting all these, we hear it a lot with our clients, don't we? We're getting all these people in. Right, okay, so let's stop doing that then, because that's clearly not something that's working. It's working in one sense. They're coming in, but they're not making us happy. They're giving us a reason to not love that business as much, because we're getting bogged down by clients that we don't want. Therefore, if we want to make a change in that area, we need to look at that and go, like, what can we do to control that then? Instead of, we're getting all these shitty clients in, which is what, we tend to go to, the negativity. We did that episode recently on the negativity bias, but that's just humans. They go to the negative. Like, what can we control? And if that is in that overarching strategy around it, okay, well, let's go back to that picture and go, like, what can we do there to make that path smoother and get that roadmap working better? So this is where those to-do lists day to day, you don't want to firefight the to-do lists. You want to kind of tick them off in a satisfactional way to go, I don't know if that's a word actually, satisfactional. Come on.
You're
at
me
correcting
no,
things.
I quite like it. I like it.
You corrected the last episode.
I know, but I like a random word.
Okay. Direct. What did I even say? I can't even remember now. But it's like, no, we don't want to firefight. We want to know where we're going with it. And if we've recognised there's a problem with the people that were coming in, that's got to be part of that strategy to start changing that. So therefore we need to allow a little bit of the time to work on that, because if we carry on doing what we're doing, we're going to resent it, we're going to hate it, we're going to, I don't like my job anymore, we're going to maybe leave, we're going to go and get a proper job, whatever. And it's like, hold on a minute, if we can just pause a second and go, like, what bit of that don't we like? What could we change? How could we get that working better and smoother?
Yeah.
You know?
I think this comes back down to that. What price are you willing to pay?
Yes, because if you stop and pause, you might stop people coming in, and therefore you're going like, but the clients aren't coming in. But hang on a minute, we need to change the clients that are coming in. So what are you prepared to give, you know, up for that period of time where you're allowed to work on that business? Do you deliver the service? Do you reduce the hours you actually deliver the service so you can work on that part? Do you pause the lead gen altogether so you can just kind of get your thoughts together and go like, what do I actually want to do here? That's going to be
you just do it all?
up.
Like you just keep doing what you're doing and you add in,
You could
knowingly,
do that.
I'm going to stick on extra, which is what I would do probably.
Yeah.
But that's me.
Yeah.
But it's that awareness.
Are we willing to bump up the hours we would actually want to work for a bit of time?
It's the price.
Yeah.
Like that price of time, energy, money. Those three things are going to factor into every single decision you make.
And this is where it's never, even people that work with us, we never tell people what to do. Like, it has to be your decision. We cannot sit here and say to you, in order for that to work, you're going to have to give this up, or you're going to have to give that up. Like, it's your choice. Ultimately, your business and your life looks like how you want it to. And every choice you make will determine whether you get closer to that goal or you don't. And so it's for us to ask those questions and go like, what are you willing to give up? What are you willing to do a bit more of, do a bit less of for a bit? And how does that impact your life? There's the questions to answer.
Yeah. And you may not always be happy with your answer you've given yourself. And I think this is the hard bit, because it's that awareness of yourself. In fact, you and I were having this conversation that I was telling you about a conversation I'd had with my sister with mum's diagnosis, and how she was reminiscing on loads of these amazing memories. And I was like, oh, I don't have those same memories, because me and my mum had a very different relationship to my sister does. And then there was part of me that was beating myself up going, oh, I should have done more with her. I should have done this. But it was a choice I made at a time. I'm going back to my 20s here, but it's not like a decision yesterday. But you make the choices that you make. And there's always, it's that cost benefit analysis the entire time on whatever it is you do in life. You know, you reach for the milk to top up your tea and it's full fat versus semi-skimmed. It's a choice. Sometimes it's not. That's the only thing that's in the fridge. But you still make it. Like, you don't have to have it. And the choices that we made and continue to make every single day in this business, there is a cost to it. So the way I look at the way I run my lifestyle at the moment, which is always under scrutiny by some people all the time, by me choosing to do those early hours and late nights, or early evening, I should say, of client-facing calls, outsiders see, oh, well, you really don't get to see your family at all then.
That's an assumption they're making there.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, but I get the day with them. Or I'm on hand in the day if anything is needed. So when the childcare providers open up again, then if Clay needs me for whatever reason, or if Hudson needs me, then I can be there, because it's work I can easily drop, because then I've organised my life around when they are available. And yeah, there are some nights where I'm thinking, oh God, I've literally worked 4 nights on the bounce and I haven't been as present, maybe because maybe I've actually had other work to do that I've only had chance to work at from 6 p.m, let's say, and a client calls at 7. But again, it's the cost at the moment, and it'll change. And at the moment, Darren's happy with it. The kids seem happy with it. I'm happy with it. It's working
We're
for the business. So, okay, it's not something I'd say, oh, I want to do that forever. But for this moment in time, it works.
And I think, again, if you come back to that entrepreneurial sort of spirit or whatever you call it, it's like having that ability to flex. That's part and part of it. It's part and parcel, isn't it? I don't believe you can be an entrepreneur, even if you're sat here listening to this going like, oh, I'm not an entrepreneur, I'm just a dog trainer. But if you've got that little spark, if you've got that stuff we were talking about on a previous episode about like a desire to change, a desire to want to do better, that makes you an entrepreneur. But you cannot ever achieve those things unless there's that ability to flex. and ebb and flow and dance and not stick to that rigid balance. So there's going to be an element. It just depends on that sliding scale of how much you're willing to give up. It's always that, isn't it?
Yeah. And knowing who you are. And I think I'm going to lean in more on that entrepreneurial spirit, because I think that's exactly who, if you're listening and you resonate with all of this, like, you are exactly who Count On Business Academy is designed for.
Yeah. Yeah.
For those that identify as, maybe you don't identify exactly as that entrepreneur, but you've got that spirit within you, because you can't switch it off.
Yeah, I think if I was listening to, if this podcast existed 10 years ago and I was listening to this, I would have been like, oh, that's me, that is. But I'd never, ever, if someone had said, are you an entrepreneur? I'd be like, no.
It's a weird word, really, isn't it?
Of course,
an entrepreneur.
But if someone would have pulled out some qualities around what an entrepreneur means to somebody, I'd have gone, yeah, that tick that box, that box, that box. Can you not let things go? Do you want to keep doing better? Do you want to improve the experience for your clients and for yourself and want more for yourself? That's me. That, to me, that equals an entrepreneur.
Yeah. It's like you'll continue, like, you will literally do anything. You'll move heaven and earth and all the stuff to actually make sure that shit happens.
And you'll probably, I want to, again, this might be just a me experience, but I think it's a you experience, and I think it's a lot of people.
You can see her face on this. It's quite an interesting face.
I think you will see it in other aspects of your life, the going against the grain, the, you know, making your life difficult for other reasons other than business. And I've like
it's
definitely
such a weird quality,
isn't it?
Why would anybody like strive for this? But
it's
just, it's
got
true,
myself
though.
in such situations where I'm like standing up for what I believe in and going like, that isn't right. Like, I'm not prepared to, like, I'm prepared to die on that hill to say, like, no, I'm standing up for that thing. And I, you know, if you're listening to this and that's you, and you feel like that happens in other aspects of your life, I think that kind of indicates that you've got that entrepreneurial spirit as well.
It's this thing that you just want to keep doing, because even if you arguably got that balance that doesn't exist, balance right, and you've got your equal plank of wood now.
I've just got this image of a plank of wood on a seesaw.
Like a scaffold board. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, me too.
If you've got that, then like you won't be happy.
Yeah.
Because it's not enough.
That is so me.
You're always striving for more in something, more in. I think every time, like, I poke Darren a lot with these questions of like, have we got like this work-life, not balance thing? Right, like, are you happy? Like, obviously I know you prefer to see me more, but does it work? Are we good right now? Are we happy with this season? If this season lasts like another few years, like, are we good? And if not, what needs to change? But it's that constant ability to revisit it. And I'm thinking, for me, going, I'd be so bored if he turned around to me and went, actually, can we try and make it a little bit more 9 to 5? I'd be like, fuck no, like, get out of my life.
Poor Darren. He's been kicked out the
I couldn't
picture.
do it. But it's not like, it would drive me insane. It'd be like a really annoying itch I'd just need to scratch all the time.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Because, I don't know, I look at me at Gareth and I go like, there's an element that we have times that we work and we don't. But he will sit in the office until 11, 12 o'clock at night if the work needs to get done. So as much as when I started on this journey with Count On Business Academy and us and everything, doing what we're doing now, he struggled with it. Like, I've seen him over the years go like, when shit needs to be done, I'm going to do it. And I appreciate that needs to be done. It's his own business. He needs to make sure that everything's working okay. And he's got way more comfortable with the way that we work now, and that is going to pivot. Sometimes it's going to change. There's a loose structure, like we were saying before about you working the early mornings and early evenings, and I tend to do the bulk of the day. But that's not to say, like, when we've got an event, when we've got something that needs working on over the weekend, like, that's fine. Like, and he'll accept that perfectly well. If he turned around to me and said, like, it has to be a blog, what? No, that's not going to work. That's not what this is.
Yeah.
But there's that understanding of it, and I can see it from his perspective. He can see it from mine a lot more now, which is great.
Yeah. I think it just boils back down to that same thing over and over again, doesn't it? Like understanding yourself.
Yeah.
The more you understand yourself, you'll be able to help others understand you. And it's about being able to almost give yourself permission to say to others, namely your loved ones, that you need to operate in this way. Not saying that they have to. It's that flex in any relationship, isn't it? Whether that's relationship as you as a child, a parent, a spouse, a friend, whatever it is. It's the ability to go, well, this is what I need. What do you need? How can we meet in the middle?
Yeah. I totally agree.
And that's
Meet
that
you where you
balance
are.
bit. That's that seesaw bit. My plank of wood's moving now. We're going up and down. It's like a scaled measure thing. Is that what it's called? You know, with the little bubble in the middle.
Yes. What are they called? Spirit level.
Spirit level. That's it. That's what I'm thinking of now. We're a floating bubble.
On that note, before we disappear, we would love you to go to Google Canine Business Academy and leave us a review. If any of these episodes have resonated, if you've loved our work, if you love what we do, and if you don't, just tell us. Hopefully
invite
you do. Hopefully it'll be positive. But if you feel inspired to help us share like the love for Canine Business Academy, we would be eternally grateful.
Ciao for now.